You're a scrumptious little munchkin, welcoming you back to Crypto's Juiciest News. What was the big news that came out today, friends? What did Trump sign in to official US law about cryptocurrencies? Is the GTA 6 announcement relevant for our crypto cycle? The confirmed date is still going to be May 2026 next year. ChainLink, what are they doing with their big announcement that just came out? Something to do with a big ChainLink Reserve, all of that coming your way and more. I have given a green emoji to Bitcoin, 117,000 American dollars. We saw a tiny bit of a thrust. Oop! Not Dune, anti-Dune, which is the inverse of Dune, which is up. This is the Bitcoin monthly chart here. It is now back to green for the monthly candle. We are now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 green candles. I also just want to remind you, once again, friends, I'll tell you all the time, I'm not joking, man. of all the models and all the indicators out here, for some reason, the actual only reliable thing in crypto is to count the monthly candles. It is what it is. It's not this other pie signal stuff out here. Once you hear 6, watch out. Okay, like even if we check out the scam cycle 2021, it was also 6 green for Bitcoin. There's a problem though, okay? You got your reset red, and it could have very easily just had a continuation up, you know? It could have happened, but it didn't. It just basically went all the way down. So here's the thing. Once you have 6 green, the last coin last month was April. And that was pretty much the peak of Altseason. Actually, it's been 5 years. We still have not come back there. Most altcoins out of the top 500, they're actually still down since that period, especially on all their ratios, even their ETH ratios. You can even go back as far as 2020. Like, look at the DeFi 1.0 coins. Like, Chainlink is still down 93% against Ethereum and Bitcoin since literally 5 years ago, August 2020. So right now, we're on monthly candle number 5. You know, of course, we are moving towards the bull market, towards the end of the phase. But the end of the phase, man, here's the thing, friends. Like, it could literally end here. You know what I mean? We're in the final box right now. And look at this. This is actually March. So we're pushing on through. You don't know when it's going to stop. You don't know when, but there are markers of each cycle, and it's, you know, the catastrophic blow off top. It didn't, and by the way, friends, just to tell you, you know, in 2021, it didn't feel like it wasn't a blow off top, dude. This was not a blow off top. Do you understand? Like, Bitcoin spent all this time, they're doing infinite QE money printing, and then did a freaking double top scam. Okay, so hopefully we're accompanied by a lot of those, you know, traditional signals, the euphoria signals that we can punch on through, and hopefully like get an idea of that. I've actually got some cracker news here for you as we go through juicy news. The US Fed, we're going to go through a bit later. They referenced the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve in one of their notes. So remember, one of my, this is when I've got esoteric, exotic top signals, and then I've got like a treasure chest of like super secret potential top signals, but you're not sure if they're going to time with crypto. One of them is maybe Warren Buffett passes away at the top, but there's a bit of a problem with the crypto. Crypto tops out way before stocks. We top out, it could be anywhere from 4 months to like 12 months on the stock market. In 2017, that's what happened, right? So, you know, we peaked out December and January of 2017 into 2018, and then stocks peaked out like September. You know, so that might not be exactly time, but it might be throughout our bear market. That might be a part of our bear market. It might not be the actual top or anything out here, right? And another one might be at the very, very, very end. We get the US Fed just to announce to everybody, you know what? Yeah, we'll think about putting Bitcoin on the balance sheet. We'll think about just something like that. You know, of course, the wet dream is to actually start doing it, but that's going to be a while, right? This is the Bitcoin daily chart. What we've just seen now, you've probably felt a surge of slight optimism because Bitcoin was around 112 to 114, and now it's popped up back to 117. So I'm going to show you some BCB fractals just to quickly, you know, move on through and show you now to give you an idea of like where he thinks we are. And this is it right here. Remember, friends, I've been showing you this quite frequently. This is the box called the box of friendship. Okay, and we're doing that part where we go back to the middle. This is actually the Fibonacci retracement. It's funny, right? If you do a fib from the top to the bottom, you get about a 60% retrace, and this is where it comes back and starts grinding. So actually, that's where we're probably going to be here. If you actually check it out, it's about where we are now, between 117 and 120. That's going to be a tiny bit of a skitsy action. You know, people think, oh, what's going to happen? Is it going to keep grinding up? And the next phase is, unfortunately, the doom phase. It's literally doom, where we go up and it's pretty much all over. You know, where Bitcoin underwhelms 150 and then that'll be sucky if we see something like that. But like I say, friends, this could still be part of a big Bitcoin channel, and we continue up higher. I don't know. I'm just guessing the channel because I just don't. I'm looking at the Bitcoin price. I just don't know how altcoins are going to go up that much. Like others, BTC's only been green for one freaking month, man. So that's not enough dangerous euphoria for me to be concerned about anything there. So that was the Bitcoin chart. I also want to show you now another fractal. This is a zoom in of it. Okay, this is a closer zoom up of it. What we're kind of expecting in that next part. I love looking at these fences. Like it's just astrology for men. You know what I mean? So this is what it normally does. After doing that ABC, that's exactly what we've done now. We've done the ABC part where Bitcoin comes back down, does the reset. We have the bad news here, then we start to grind up. That's exactly what we're doing now. The grindy part up. Then we're just literally ready to go. And actually what people say is the end. We begin the end, the actual very, very end, which, you know, I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see how that comes true, because they're fractals and always squiggly lines, and the squiggly lines change and it doesn't happen, and maybe it's delayed. And here's the Bitcoin dominance chart from BCB as well. I want to show you just how this is the monthly chart, right? He's using some, he's using like the MACD here, which is just an indicator. I'm not a fan of the MACD in crypto just because it's so slow with the moving average. Like you're doing, what is it, 12 and a 26 or something, you know what I mean? Like they're okay, but it's just like using it like that, it just takes so long for it to basically flip it. Like, look at this thing, friends. When the MACD, look, when it bottomed, check this out. When the Altseason bottomed, look, the MACD is still red. So you would be complacent for like 8 months after the cycle top, and you're like, oh no, the MACD is still red, still red, still red. And no, you know what I mean? Like it's not really, it doesn't really give you much edge, you know what I mean? But the good thing is, I think how you use it as well, it's kind of like the switch, okay? Because if you notice, remember this is a monthly chart. This is gargantuanly big. This is the mother load of indicator time frames, right? Bitcoin on the monthly. And this is Bitcoin dominant. So it's about to flip red. So it's been on green literally forever. It's been green since a very, very, very long time, and literally about to crack on red. And once it cracks on red, if you just see it here, let's actually draw what the red does out here. Let's actually, let's go through the red periods of the MACD. That's what they look like. See, that's what we've seen. Just literally capitulations down, down. Hopefully when we get something big. There are levels here, though. That's the thing when it comes to the Bitcoin dominance right here. And I think that represents maybe an ETH BTC ratio of about 0.07. It might be around here, a 0.05 to 0.07. Are we going to go lower than that? You know, it's going to be tough, right? When Bitcoin dominance goes there. It's a believer cycle, so we'll see. Also, a closer zoom up of that Bitcoin dominance out here just to show you. See, everyone, this is, if you've been in markets, man, for a long time, this is very, very, very dangerous. This is why, like, I've removed the Bitcoin name for what I'm talking to you about. I've removed the Bitcoin name. I don't care what it does. I literally do not care what the asset does. Anything that does this, when you have infinitely higher lows, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, anything like this, extremely dangerous. You have not tested anyone here. You've literally before. Here's the thing, right? Even if you are in any market, right? Any stock, whatever it is. If you really believe this thing, let's say you're a total willy woo Bitcoin maxi and you think Bitcoin is going to 90% dominance, okay? Even if you think that, every single market before it actually gets there, it has to test you. It has to, okay? All these people, you'll see it every single time, literally 100% of the time. Obviously, there's no 100% in markets, but you get what I mean. Like very, very, very high odds that there is some sort of test. And you don't know, it's going to be a wick and come back down. I don't know what it's going to be like, but I guess we'll think about what to do next if we do get back down here. Hopefully, altcoins and everything have shot up there. But yeah, man, I still think, man, it's going to be a double bubble alt season. Like everything's lining up for it. So on to the next phase, right? We also have, friends, so we've got all the Bitcoin stuff covered, and obviously this is my chart for Bitcoin dominance and everything. It's all the same stuff, right? I want to give you a quick checkup on METH, which we absolutely love and adore. This is METH out here. METH, friends, 3,900 on CME, CME futures. So it is ready to keep on cranking, right? But I'll give you another look at this, the big charts. Remember, there is that guy, that one cuck who is revenge shorting Ethereum. Don't know why, but yeah, he's going to get liquidated. I mean, he might actually be nearly liquidated out here, revenge shorting. So remember, Ethereum did the little tiny bull flag. Remember up here, friends? Remember, Ethereum comes straight up only. It's kind of funny. I remember when we were here, actually, friends. Do you remember when we were here? I said, look, with charts like this, what usually ends up happening is you go up, do skitsy, and then you pop up. And we're actually doing it. It's just that it feels so annoying. You get here and you're like, man, I hate this skitsy. Why can't you just keep going up, man? But it's how it works, man. Even if you know you expect the skitsy part, it's kind of funny, makes you think about, friends. Sometimes knowing the future is a curse. Kind of funny because you can't actually manipulate and control a lot of the stuff outside of our control. Now, this is METH. Remember, we have our crowd favorite, Lee, who's come out. He's now accumulating a lot of Ethereum. His Ethereum target is 360,000. You heard that right. Literally 100x higher. And I think we need some Pumpy G music for that, because that's exactly what we want to hear. Friends, you know when Tom Lee said 360,000 Ethereum, why aren't the Bitcoin Maxis laughing? Why aren't they laughing? Because they've seen ETH BTC move up a tiny bit, what? But they know Michael Saylor's price target is equally retardio. That's why. Michael Saylor's target of $13 million is 100x higher. Have you noticed? It's been this. I've been telling you this from like the start. At the top, you got to convince people that they're still early. You know, and the crowd will seek out these narratives, you know. It's a funny part, you know, Tom Lee does an interview. It's not like he says, attention to the whole world, you must adopt its 100x higher price target Ethereum. He doesn't do that. We all seek that. All of us seek stuff like the crowd seeks it, okay? That's what I want you to know about these signals. Everybody says a lot of stuff, but what is the crowd like hearing? They go, oh, that guy said, I'm going to go up 100x from here. I mean, Bitcoin at 120,000. There's still 100x upside for me. This is great. And look at the past 4 years. It's been going up only. You see what I mean? That's why these top signals, when they come out, it's not that some person says something, because there's wild targets all the time. There's people who've been saying Bitcoin's going to zero like every 5 seconds for the past 10 years, right? But it's not a signal, you know? But you might find at the bottom of bear markets, that guy who says Bitcoin's going to zero, Joe Rogan brings him on, you know? Or he gets put on Fox News. He goes, Bitcoin is absolutely going to zero. I've been saying it for years. And then you're looking at it like, you've been saying it for years. Why are they bringing you out now? You know, that's how we use these signals. That's why it's not so easy just to go against the crowd. It's the context of all these. Of course, as you know, if it was easy, everybody would do it, right? Now, because you're a baby doll pumpkin and a cutie sugar pie, you probably want to see Soylana. Guess what? SOL-ETH ratio tick down again. There you go. SOL-ETH ratio, friends. This thing, man, is literally dropping like a rock, but you got a long way to go for this. Like you gotta, if you're gonna go up, you still got to get these people. All right, you got to get these people. 0.028. We'll see though. Like there's, man, I've just so many lessons I told you. Look, man, look, personally, this is why you can do what you want. Okay, you can do what you want. I'm just telling you, this is me. Okay, and remember, I don't know anything. Okay, I peg my own nipples on the internet. I have very straight posture, very pointy elbows. I got fluffy slippers. Just a simple man. I personally am shit scared of SOL-ETH. I would be, if I was long, I'd be shit scared. Why? Look at these top signals that appeared. And if you look closely, there's another one in here that I did not enter at that time it happened, but I have to show you it. So Kyle Salami, he is one of the biggest VCs in Soylana, biggest proponent. And Kyle Salami, at the literal top in January of this year, okay, so literally I think, there you go, right here, okay? A week after Trump, a few days after Trump announces, he goes, guess what? I'm putting a meme coin on Soylana. I choose your chain. he offered someone, there's a guy on Twitter, he says, I will offer you $100 million in size on the SOL-ETH pair. How much size and duration would you like? Basically, he wants to be long here, and he's happy. He was going to someone, he goes, I challenge you to a bet, $100 million for SOL-ETH. You take short, I take long. He literally did it right here. So friends, I'm just showing you, like, this is why I'm shit scared. Okay, this type of Trump meme coin. Okay, everyone still says they're early. You have Kyle Salami saying, I'll take you $100 million bet. You have a Bitcoin Maxi, Freddie the scammer Kroiger comes out, okay, and like a coward, launches a JPEG coin, and he says, Soylana technology is amazing. Launches a coin, rugs everybody for like 200 grand, I think market cap hit a couple of million. He basically takes like 200 grand or something, rugs everyone, sends it to zero, deletes the message, pretends like it doesn't happen, and then later on in his stream, he says, Soylana is great technology, right? Soylana has amazing technology. I'm like, what the? Bro, you're telling me your technology boasting for Soylana was stealing off people, was rugging people? Look, man, that's bad karma, dude. I don't get who the hell you are. That's bad karma. We got to resolve this somehow. I don't think, friends, something going like this, I don't think it goes, guess what, guys? You're all going to go make money and be really rich. And then it's going to come down and you're going to be able to get it. I just don't see that world, man. I just don't see that world. I don't know what I see, okay? I see a lower high from the ETF thing and then it rolls over. That's what I see. And then God help us. That's all I'm saying is it's got to come back. It's got to test this ratio part out here somehow. I'm just showing you, man, this is important. This is people who are on the sidelines who've been believing in something. You feel like you've been getting wrecked, okay? But when you look at everybody else, you go, oh yeah, I'm making money, friends. People who are making money, okay, they're in the homoerotic trenches. They're dumping on all their friends, scamming everybody, right? They're cannibalizing each other. And for every one person you hear, there are literally 50 people behind him losing. So yeah, that one person's winning, but this thing, you need a rinsing, man. You have to get a rinsing. You don't, and by the way, look, here's the thing, man. You went up for a year and a half. Everybody in Soylana, you won the game. You literally crushed the game. You won it. You got the president to flop out a meme coin on your chain. What else do you want? I'd like to ask you, what else could you possibly want? I know what they want, by the way. They want to flip Ethereum. Look, man, this is the thing, friends. Okay, you learn this in markets here. It's not about the price, bro. It sent you so many signals. It sent you you had bangers. You're too poor to stay to Soylana girl's house. Do you remember that? Let's go back and check out where that was. Friends, that was in October. So bangers said that here. That's giant top signal one. You literally have a girl, friends, literally nobody wants to know Soylana here. And then she's teasing people saying, you're too poor to stay at the Soylana girl's house. Alert. Then the universe gives you another signal. The president launches a meme coin on your chain. Then it gives you a third signal. Ethereum goes to zero. Vitalik capitulates. You had the most intergalactic triple combo of signals here telling you, man, this is like, you win the game. But they didn't take it. I told you, man, this happens. It happens every cycle, friends. This is literally, now it's going to be 404. Something happens in the Bitcoin halving year that makes people think that the whole cycle is theirs. They all run in and then they end up coping for the rest of the cycle. That's why, friends, some of our favorite KOLs who we watch, some of the language they were using, they have to, let's say they have to increase their humility a bit because they might be walking into a trap themselves. Here is the pulse to soy ratio. It's like so close to flipping green as well. And then pretty much everything goes. So, like you said, friends, like I want to show you this thing. This thing happened again. Remember? This is why I wanted to see, there was going to be a new tech wave thing. It was end up being JPEGs, the JPEG token launches, which everybody participated when they created the trenches. And everyone gets fooled. They think, hey, this whole cycle's ours. All of the cycle's ours. And then it's not. New narratives appear, right? check out ChainLink, friends. Now, big news. ChainLink have launched their ChainLink Reserve. So they're funding it with ChainLink. So what they're going to do is they're going to use the protocol to buy up Link over time and store it. They're going to make it scarce, okay? Which is great. And then I found information. It's get ready to laugh. Their protocol is making $125. Actually, real, they're making $125 of revenue a day. So I don't know who's going to buy Link. Who's going to come on there just to show you, friends. Remember, if you're in Pulse Chain, best example to learn from ChainLink, they have all the good news in the world. All the good news. Friends, Sergey just went onto Scotty Melker's channel. He did a big interview. He shakes hands with the president. Friends, it literally, look how ChainLink is still down after 5 years, 90% against Ethereum. Against Bitcoin, it's down, I think, 94, 95%. It's just turbo wrecked, man. I'm still holding, still believe, I still think it hits $160. So nothing's concerning. I'm just showing you, man, like, we had all the good news in the world, man. It literally, you know, ChainLink didn't have one piece of bad news ever, even since 2022. It didn't have any bad news in 2022. Nothing. The only bad news it ever had was tokens are getting unlocked. That's it. But they were periodic and known unlocks anyway. So that was literally, can you imagine that? Literally, I've been here every single day, friends. I've been here 18 hours a day. There was not one piece of bad news, ChainLink, ever. There you go. And see, the SEC didn't even go after them. So hopefully these things start to swoop up. And if you are holding ChainStink, okay, what we're going to do is we can go and estimate what price we could kind of get if we pop up to around here. This is around the 61 to 70% retrace. This is the weird thing, friends. It's about a 7x. Okay, so it's a 7x. So let's say if ChainStink, it's about $18. If ChainStink does a 7x, you get $120. But hopefully, maybe Ethereum is. See, this is the crazy part, man. How are they all going to match out? Because you need ETH. That's ETH 10K, Link $200. That is around a 0.02 here. That's 0.02. At 0.03, we link $300. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't know how these all going to reconcile themselves. They're giant market caps. Or maybe it's just going to flop. I don't know, man. Welcome to life. Also news, we've got to talk about this, friends. GTA 6, otherwise known as GTA 6, is confirmed to release May 2026. Now, you're probably looking at like, Sami, what does this have to do with crypto? Look, trust me. Just trust me on this one. It has everything to do in crypto. I don't know why. It's part of the universe. Okay. Something has been telling me this is a big announcement day for crypto. Okay. I don't know. Like I say, it could be the very top, friends. I don't know. It could be the end of Altseason there, where its selling may go away, you know, and may ends up being like a final thrust month or whatever, or that's the final mark. I don't know, but it's May next year, and yeah, it might, you never know. It might like bring back the gaming season and other stuff. I don't know. Yeah, it's something to think about. But obviously, we're not going to commit to it or anything. It just feels like it's such a worldly event. GTA 6. Like, you're just going to see everybody around the world take off time and stuff to go play it. Trump, friends, breaking news as well that's happened. Trump has officially approved 401k access to crypto and alternative assets via executive order. So this is big news. It's actually what started making crypto go up, but who cares about this little news for Ghazi, right? So Trump saying now, hey, your life savings, your 401k in America, some parts of the world are called like superannuation, you know, the long-term savings thing. You are now allowed to own crypto in it. So obviously, I'm not a financial advisor. Go to your financial advisor. It's probably poorer than you, by the way, and go ask them for advice, okay? Personally, me, if I'm under 40, I think this is just me. If I'm under 40 years old, so you can't touch this thing for at least 20 years, to me, I would be 100% all in on crypto. I wouldn't even blink at the stock market. That's just personally me. Because crypto's only 3.4 trillion now. You know, if crypto was 20 to 30 trillion, which is like 10x higher than now, okay, maybe you do some ratios and stuff. Maybe like, you know, 70% stocks, 30% crypto, whatever. But because it's just this the no-brainer to me. What ratio do you do? I don't know, friends. Like, it depends very, very long term. How much do you really want to gamble with altcoins and stuff? I don't know. I don't know what even allowed to. Bitcoin and Ethereum, you can't go wrong with them. I'd throw some ChainLink as well. I'd probably trade around if you're allowed to touch it as well. But then again, it's 20 years. So, you know, are you allowed to move around? I think in America, you're allowed to trade it and do it around. So yeah, I'll put some ChainLink. And of course, where's all this coming from? Well, Bitcoin's growth rate has been, in the past 4 years, 67%. And obviously, it's been going down over time, but still 67. Stocks are only about 10. You know, so it's a no-brainer. The White House, otherwise known as the anti-Black House, says President Trump is about to make a major announcement about the economy. And I've just seen, maybe this is what the major announcement got. It literally came out minutes ago. Says, President Trump guarantees fair banking for all Americans. He has an executive order signed. It will now ban banks from debanking the Bitcoin and crypto industry. So I guess it's cool. They can't ban us anymore. That's cool. You know, if you're wondering why, by the way, sideline, if you're new to this cycle, welcome. If you're wondering why we're not like excited about that, just because I just want to remind you, this is true, right? The biggest pumps crypto has ever done is when we were totally banned from everywhere in the world. Just to let you know. So this is more of a sign, like the growth rate slowing down. You know, it's kind of like, let's say you're a football fan and someone says, hey, do you love Cristiano Ronaldo? It's amazing. He's now getting $180 million yearly salary. He's playing in an amazing stadium with like perfectly air-conditioned locker rooms and all these other amazing things. And look how shiny his jersey is. And if you're a soccer fan, football, you know, you'd tell them, well, you know what? His peak years were literally when, you know, it was only a couple of years in. I mean, maybe he's in mid-20s and, you know, his teeth are still buckled pretty much. You know what I mean? Like that it would be that same equivalent where you're like, well, I'm not kind of excited anymore. You know, the peak's done. That's why, because we can see the writings on the wall. The Fed note has referenced the US Bitcoin Reserve ID. Now, friends, this is earth-shattering hints. This might be... So, friends, I want to show you Major Loser Powell here being overlooked by Donald Trump. These are the notes. I actually have the notes here. So they've highlighted up here. So this is from the US Fed notes. They've said it's note number 1 as well. It's interesting. It's note number 1. That's something to think about. Look at this. It's almost like I'm looking at the universe is almost telling us they're going to say something at the top. Yeah. They said, in the US, the idea has come up in the context of helping to establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve or a sovereign wealth fund, and the use of revaluation proceeds in recent legislation by Senator Cynthia Lummis. That's pretty much who they're talking about. Okay, so they're just see how it's funny. They go, in the US, the idea has appeared. Anyway, that's what they do. This report on pretty much anything and everything. Oh, there's an idea of this. It's all political speak. You know, they don't have an opinion. Oh, it's just an idea. They just see how we react. They're like, that's what they want to see when it comes to us cranky and pumping. But is it actually going to move into some physical action? Well, I want to remind you again, for everyone who doesn't know, the very, very, very top of Bitcoin on this day was marked by Tim Apple. Okay? Tim Apple, this guy. Tim Apple marked the top. How did he mark the top? They brought him in, I think CNBC, one of these things. Oh, here it is. This is it. Tim Apple talks cryptocurrency. Okay. Now, this is the guy with the 2 different colored eyes. Right? He actually does have 2 different colored eyes. One's blues, one's brown. It's like a super, super rare condition. Yeah, he basically... So, how did he mark the top? He said... This is crazy, man. All he needed to say. He says, I think Bitcoin and Ethereum are appropriate for a well-diversified portfolio. That's all he said. You know, but why was it important? You know, it's because everyone all year... Remember, we had Elon Musk buying Bitcoin with Tesla earlier in 2021. So everyone was like looking for Amazon or Apple, someone big to adopt it. And he just had El Salvador 2 months before that adopting it. So everyone was looking at Apple, the world's biggest company. They were the world's biggest company at the time. Like the absolute biggest. Nvidia wasn't anything huge back then. It was big, but it wasn't like, the colossal thing now. And so what ends up happening is that's a form of capitulation. Like saying, you know what, I guess it's good. And that marked the top. And then ever since that point, it was down only. Check this out as well, friends. SharpLink has raised $200 million to stack and stake Ethereum. Remember, they are the Microstrategy of ETH, the Microstrategy. And, always on the topic of Microstrategy, we'll go to BitcoinTreasuries.net and we're going to check out MetaPlanet and we're going to go check out Microstrategy's NAV. So it's up to 1.54 for MicroStrategy, 1.54, and MetaPlanet is, if we scroll on through, NAV here, they moved it, 2.258. Okay, that's what it is. So the MicroStrategy one is the most important. It's about 1.54. This thing has been just ticking down, trending down over time. We're going to see, is it going to go down to the 3s and the 2s? It's like almost like the writing on the wall. We'll see. And just a friendly reminder once again, why is that important? We don't know if it's important. We don't know. But in 2021, we had grayscale Bitcoin premium. Everybody got Bitcoin fever. And then the premium of the base scale, that ETF equivalent, right? It went from 25%, then 10%, then 5%, then it became 0. Then it started trading at negative. So the Bitcoin in their treasury was like worth less than the Bitcoin on the open market. And that's when all hell started to break loose. In terms of Altseason had the final 2 months there, and it was pretty much game over. So maybe this thing repeats similar, but we're still waiting. ChatGPT, friends, big news. ChatGPT 5 is live. OpenAI says the new model delivers major upgrades in coding. I haven't used it for anything yet. I use AI all the time. I don't know if there's anything super mind-blowing in it, but sure, everything's getting smarter and better and amazing. Very excited for these stuff. Also, friends, Elon Musk made a comment. He said OpenAI is going to eat Microsoft alive. He said it in a tweet. Now, the thing is, right, Microsoft's market cap is 3.87 trillion. Okay, 3.87 trillion with a T. Okay, whoa, what a chart, man. By the way, see, friends, see this period from 2001 to 2018, it was sideways. So Microsoft went sideways for literally 17 years. I made videos about it. Remember in 2023? That's wild, yeah. 17 years sideways, man. But it did a 500x first. So this part that you can't see because there's no log chart here. But yeah, from the start, 1986 to 1999, it did a 500x. Just kept going up. And its biggest retracement was, I think, 18%. I'm not joking. It's literally the biggest chart. You know what? Well, here, I'll show you the cracker chart. This is it. This is the monthly log chart. Okay, look, there's one here. There's a 50% thing at the start, but then look at these, friends. Or you get 28%, 18, 22, and then up, 18, 20. What is this? 14. Friends, this is literally, can I show you? Look, from 1995, it literally just runs up for 5 years. 5 years. Bitcoin, we go down for like 3 years, run up for 1 year. This thing just ran up for 5 years. It's just absolutely insane. But that market cap is 3.87 trillion. Okay, so we might see that narrative build up where ChatGPT. Well, remember it's IPO, friends. Remember, right now it doesn't. You can't get access to it. Yeah, you can't. But people really want to trade it. But it's huge in size. So they've opened up shares for buying and selling for all employees, former and past. So new people can get in and old people can get out. It's now they're going to open it at $500 billion. So that's why I said, man, is this going to IPO huge? Much bigger? That's going to be crazy, man. Now, the biggest IPO in history, they don't go off the market cap. They go off how much money it raised. And the biggest market cap in history in the world was Saudi Aramco. So it was $29 billion raised. And Alibaba, wow, was $25 billion. So I wonder what ChatGPT, how much money they would raise. But then we're talking about the market cap here. So market cap for us is $500 billion. So you never know, man. Like, wouldn't it be wild if like they IPO'd? Man, that'd be wild. Just like to think about them. Imagine the market just prices in that ChatGPT flips Microsoft 4 trillion. Friends, you understand how insane that is? That is literally you made another Bitcoin pretty much. That's a 200. If you get a 4 trillion valuation, that's a 200K Bitcoin. It's like you release something into the world and now oh man, what a wild thing. So we'll see if that ends up running up. You never know, man. Maybe the next IPO thing gets done at the end of the year at 1 trillion and it might mark the very top of the stock market bubble. We'll see. check this out as well. So President Trump says the interview process for the next Fed chair has started and they're down to 3 candidates, adding they're all from Wall Street. So they're all from Wall Street. Yeah, they're the money guys, they're the finance guys. Remember, he's not going to put percent. I think he just considered him because, you know, respect and friendship. But we might find as well, look, we had a big bubble in 1999, the tech bubble, which we'll still talk about today, right? Where we ran up on 5% rates. And I can actually show that to you right now. This is it. You see that the red line is the rate, and that's on the far left. So if you check it out, friends, this is actually huge, man. I did not know. It's actually higher than 5. Look at this. So we were doing the bubble. Look at the bubble part. The first they cut rates here from 5.5, and they cut down to 4.75. So they actually cut 3 times, which is kind of funny, friends. We're pricing in now 3 cuts to the end of this year, where rates go from 4.5 to 3.75, I think. They're doing 3 cuts, September, October, December. And then look what ends up happening. The stock market has a bubble and they have to end up hiking rates again. They actually end up putting rates back to 6.5%. But then everything just collapses on itself. Because things got inflationary again. They just put it up again. So they cut 3 times and they hiked it again, bank. See, that's usually what happens at the very end. The Fed oversteps. Maybe on purpose, planned crises, whatever. They overstep their boundary up here. So, you know, when they started cutting, they should have let this part go up. This was a complacency run in the bubble of the stocks. But that it's hard to see that because up here, you're seeing like insane valuations for the market. So that's what the Fed will now do. They will try to like preemptively pop the bubble stuff now. So I wonder if that's going to repeat something similar. We'll see. Backed, friends. So Backed is in a US exchange that just pretty much went nowhere. They have acquired a 30% stake in a Japanese yarn maker, Marusho Hata, for $115 million. So are we actually talking about yarn maker? I just want to make sure we know what it is. Actually, wow, yes, actually just pieces of strings. Woohoo! Go the yarn. Wow. So friends, with my videos, I hope one day we inspire the future next world's greatest yarn Maxi. Yarn. What would I do without you? So they've now bought a yarn maker and they've rebranded it to Bitcoin.jp. Obviously standing for jelly beans and peanuts. So shout out to everybody there in the land of Japan. That's Japan. That's right. Silent J. And we're going to see more of these themes out here where there's these companies of like representing the old past. What's going to happen is, look, we haven't hit the bubble mania yet where we just see a lot of these old companies and they're like, buy Bitcoin. And then I have to make the videos going like, okay, you've literally done nothing. You've just bought, you just bought a Ponzi. It's not like you guys are connecting to the internet or anything. You know what I mean? You didn't put a website out. You've bought something and then it just sits there. It just sits on your shelf. Okay, now how does your life change? So we haven't got to that stage yet. We're going to get there. Binance, friends. Actually, let's check this out. Look at this. The number of crypto professionals paid in crypto has tripled in 2024, with 9.6% of people now receiving salaries in digital assets. Circle's USDC leads at 63% of all crypto payrolls. Wow. So you check this out. So crypto payrolls, everyone's making progress here. Look at this. Everyone receives in fiat, but now look, everyone wants to get paid in crypto from 2023. Isn't it crazy? So crypto goes up. We don't have 3% of people getting paid in crypto. Now it's almost 10%. So we might even see that as this year plays out, maybe it goes up to 25%. They go, oh, I want to get paid in crypto, but I don't think so, sirs. I think this is the time now. You want to get paid in crypto back then, and not in fiat. But, it's too risky, man. I completely get it. Who wants to freaking live their life or you're getting paid in freaking crypto? You don't know the piece of shit's going to drop 55% next week and then still be down after 4 to 5 years, which is what we've been suffering for everything out here, Binance now lets Europeans convert crypto to fiat and withdraw directly to MasterCard with near instant access. And then you have Kraken users can now deposit USD through PayPal. So there's a lot of these themes about payments and salaries, people moving in, bridging in. That's awesome. That's wonderful. It's just one of those great positive news streams that we're seeing out here. Now, obviously, the next question on our mind, where we're going from here, if we go back and look at all these fractals, friends, this is the Bitcoin monthly chart. And even so, we can look at the weekly we are, look, I really hope, if we're going to repeat 2017 similarly, right, this is what would happen, right? It would be 150, backtest here somehow, and then either 200 or 250. I think it's 200 that actually comes up here. Back 150, backtest, right? Whatever it looks like. You never know how deep this one is. And then it goes up to 200, and then either we blow off and die, or we just drop from there, do the lower high, and it's all over. Just to let you know, you don't need to stress with trying to time the Bitcoin top. You don't need to, because what we've found is, what we've seen, right? The Bitcoin top, friends, you never need to guess where it is, because you don't, you're thinking, hey, is it topped? 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 Then I keep going up or down. Is it topped? Is it topped? Uh-oh. And then like this, is it topped? Is it topped? That's what it looks like, right, in slow time. But the thing is, right, you don't have to stress about selling, because the alt seasons, friends, are the marker of the end. And the alt season, see, first Bitcoin drops, and then there's a lower high. This lower high, it's tiny bit off the top. It's nothing, man. It's nothing. Like, oh, wow, this is 180K, where it topped to like 200. Or if you even go up higher, maybe Bitcoin stops at 280, cracks back here, then it's back up to like 230. You know what I mean? Like, so you don't have to guess too much, right? But that lower high, if you see the exuberant, others BTC and everything cranking, that is the end. That's been the marker of the end every single time. The thing though is, no one wants to admit it. Why? Because the prices are never high enough. So that's what we're waiting to see in the next phase. Also, just to show you, right? In 2017, right? Let's say we are repeating it similarly. This next phase up, there is a point, if you've breached the point of inflection, right, which you never know where that is, but if you breach that point of inflection, you know, it could be the Bitcoin all-time high or 2x above it, where it is, where Bitcoin starts going up and then altcoins start accelerating with it. Yeah, there is that one point, and that's the point, fans. Believe it or not, that one point, this rare occurrence, that's the start of the alt season, and it like makes everybody remember why they're in crypto. It's that one period of time, and it's literally like crack. It's like it'd be like Bitcoin going from like 117 now, it ticks up to 125, but your altcoins are up 50%. And then Bitcoin goes from 125 to 130, like that's just another 3% for Bitcoin, and the altcoins are up another 50%. And that it's amazing. That one moment, even though it lasts total amount, it only lasts 100 days total out of a 4-year cycle. So think about that, 100 days out of, think about that, 1,200 days. Yeah, that it leaves such a mark on everybody that we all become bag holders forever, pretty much. So without further ado, got to remind you, you're my friend. I guess we'll see. Is BTC going to do the squiggle and up action? Hopefully it does. Like, subscribe. Catch you soon.